How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be going over week 2 and a little bit of 3. I'm recording a little bit late, but week 2 with the light phone and a little bit of 3. So right after I published the week 1 and I got an update. So now I can call to Verizon phone numbers. I'm using Verizon. I used to not be able to call to Verizon iPhones, and now that is fixed with firmware version number 73, and that was excellent, so now I can call all my contacts, and I'm really satisfied about that. But the next thing that I kind of covered or kind of like experienced a little bit extendedly, it's like in the first week I was texting, but this next couple of weeks, week 2 and a little bit of 3, I have been enjoying and kind of been, fiddling with the text. So something that I notice is that texting is a little bit slower. And if you make mistakes, it's a little bit harder, to kind of like proofread them. So maybe like a wish list for week 2 and 3 will be in the future have autocorrect of some sorts. I don't know how, because of the small screen and small space, as you can see in the example. But that was, that's always been like a little bit different to text and autocorrect. It's been a little bit frustrating, teaching a lot of patience. I think that's kind of like the thing that I'm learning a lot, to be patient, because when you have a smartphone, it's just easy, like boom, autocorrect does it for you. Sometimes it mess up, but it's super fast. With the light phone, you're more intentional, you're more patient when you're typing, and you're like, okay, I don't want to make mistakes, so you're maybe more attentive to detail. It can be frustrating to a lot of people. It's a little bit frustrating for me, but I think I'm learning to appreciate it and maybe to communicate more effectively through my texts. Another thing that I would like to talk about in my experience is that I can get directions with my light phone now. Not because it's an official tool, but it's something that is called Command Line for Light Phone. It's an app for Android phones that can send directions when I send a text. I'm going to showcase it a little bit here, but something that I've found is like, okay, so you send a text to your other phone, so you have to have 2 active lines, and you send a text to your other phone, which is another line, and that phone retrieves the directions and sends it back to you, back to the light phone, and you get directions on your light phone, which is really nice. I'm going to be making another video on how to set that up. I'm going to be including the links below so that you can know how to do it yourself if you're tech savvy, and if not, I'll make a video here so that you know how to do it. I can get directions, I can get calendar. So it's been really good, because I can remind myself of the things that I had to do throughout the day. Or, if I'm really lost, like around my town, or like I really need to get a direction, I can type. You have to be very specific, but I can type something and get a response in the meantime that the light team develops the actual tools. I'll be showing up like a little bit more in future videos. Call quality has been great now that I can call everybody. And another thing that I've noticed is that I am definitely spending less time on my other electronics. But something that I like to say is that even though you have a light phone, it doesn't mean that it's distraction free per se. During this week, I went out to eat with a friend, and when he pulled out his phone, I pulled out my phone, kind of like a reaction, when somebody pulls out their phone, you pull out your phone. But something that I noticed is that, even text messaging or like just fiddling around, looking at your device, this is not immune to that. It, lessens it because you don't have a lot of apps or you don't have a lot of things like that. But you can still be distracted. You can still be not present with people with the light phone, because you can be focused on texting people here and not in the experience that you're having with other, like the people that are like immediately surrounding you. So I've found that I think it's important to keep myself at check. Like, so like, yes, I do have a light phone, but it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that I will not be distracted. So that's something that I found this week 2 and 3. One last thing in my experience, I guess, is I'll be showcasing a couple of the tools. The tools are pretty limited at this point. Ringtones, things like that. There's not a lot to see. But honestly, I've liked the experience so far. Week 2 and 3 are completed, almost. I'm at the end of week 3. But I'm excited to see, 30-day review. what I've learned, how things are progressing. I know they released an update a couple of days ago for, I think, version 76 or something like that for the OS, which is supposed to, make it better, make it smoother, things of that nature. So I'm kind of excited to see how the project continues developing, and I'll keep you updated in that. I'll make the video for the other tools. And one more thing I'd like to mention is Hotspot. Hotspot works great. I know some of you in the comments wanted to know. Hotspot works great. It's really nice how it works, and super fast speeds, just like any regular other hotspot from a phone. And yeah, it's been pretty decent. Battery drain, maybe I should mention that. Battery drain has been optimal, but it's not amazing. Like, it can last 2 to 3 days if you are not using it constantly. I made another video on drainage for phone calls. And I still have issues with my proximity sensor, but it is what it is. I like the Light Phone. I recommend it. If you have any questions, please, comment down below, and I'll make sure to kind of make a video or, kind of explain it in there. I think it's really worth it to get your Light Phone. And, music, now that I'm seeing the headphone jack, yeah, well, you cannot listen to music on this, but there's a tool coming, and I hope one day I'll be able to. It has a headphone jack, so you can connect it to your car or other things if you want to amplify the audio. That's kind of nice. But those are kind of like my thoughts on week 2 and 3. Week 4, it's close. But, we'll see what happens, and, if my opinion changes. So far, so good. I like it. It's a nice device. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.